good, y'all? It's the one and only King Cal 516 live in the mix, and this is the Swish Flames podcast. Be sure to check us out on the website www.swishflames.com. Hit us up on Twitter at Swish Flames, and also check out the brand new Facebook page at Swish Flames Podcast. So let's get right into this, y'all. I know you guys have been waiting. I'm here running out and about. I'm traveling. I'm in New York right now, taking care of some business. But needless to say, you guys already know the news, so let's get right into this. Russell Westbrook has been traded officially to the Los Angeles Lakers, which means the Lakers, you can add them to the list of teams that currently have a big three. It's them in Brooklyn right now. That's the only two teams in the league that have a legitimate big three, and this is a big deal in my opinion. Now, I know a lot of the naysayers are out there saying, oh, this is not a great move, it's not a great fit. Even some Laker fans are kind of not feeling this move, but let me assure the Lakers fans, and let me assure the league and NBA, and let me put everybody on notice. This is a huge, big deal, and it's going to help the Lakers, and they are legitimate title contenders. They were always title contenders, but they are now even more legitimate title contenders headed into next season, and this is definitely a big deal, and let me break that down why. First of all, I know what most people are going to start to say is, oh, well, Westbrook, he can't shoot. He's not a great shooter. You see, what happens is people like to focus on negatives. And I get it. Neither Anthony Davis or LeBron James are lights-out shooters. They're both kind of streaky. They can shoot the ball, but they're not like great shooters. They're decent shooters, right? So LeBron likes to drive the ball, and he'll score. But as he's aging, he's not doing it on a consistent basis like he used to. It's very noticeable. So LeBron is now settling for 3-point shooting, which he's a better 3-point shooter than when he first came to the league. He shoots now slightly above league average, right? So LeBron basically drives, or he shoots the three most cases, and he's starting to add the post up a little bit more too. So sometimes he'll post up and shoot a mid-range off the post up. For the most part, that's how LeBron James scores nowadays, right? AD, he's a mid-range assassin. You know, he likes the mid-range. He'll shoot threes as well. He's okay 3-point shooter, not as good as LeBron, a little bit worse. All right, but AD, we know he's a unicorn. He's a jack of all trades. He can do a little bit of everything. He's a generational talent, just like LeBron. Russell Westbrook, this is what he's going to do that's going to help the Lakers, and this is why I'm saying it's a big deal, and this is why I believe the Lakers are legitimate title contenders, and they're going to be the team to beat. Yes, I know they have to round out the roster. They're going to have to make some moves there. Right now they only have 4 officially people under guaranteed contracts, which are LeBron, AD, Westbrook, and Marc Gasol. Alfonso McKinney is not guaranteed. We'll see what happens with that. I understand all that. They're going to have to round up the roster, but here's the thing. The deal with Russell Westbrook getting to the Lakers, this is why I like it. Russell Westbrook's motor is non-stop. He's an assassin. He's going for broke. He doesn't cheat the game at all. So he's giving you 100% all the time. And since he's going to be playing the point guard position, I do believe LeBron will be off the ball more. Yes, LeBron will initiate offense at times, but LeBron will decide and pick his spots. But he will let Russell Westbrook, take care of that load. And so LeBron is going to definitely pick his spots during the regular season. And Russell Westbrook is actually a player he can trust to do that. With Dennis Schroeder, he couldn't trust Dennis Schroeder to do it. He tried to trust him. If you watch even in the playoffs when AD went down, the next game, Dennis Schroeder went 0 for 9 from the field. He didn't score. There would never be a game where Russell Westbrook won't score. You understand what I'm saying? Imagine this. Russell Westbrook is not the greatest 3-point shooter by no means. He's not the most efficient shooter either. But Russell Westbrook can easily average anywhere from 25 to 30 points without having the greatest of shots. Now, he's a decent mid-range shooter. But because of his motor, I'm telling you, and the guy, out of the last 4 years, 3 of them, he's averaged a triple-double. He's a triple-double assassin. Even if his scoring goes down a little bit, which it did this past year in Washington, it went down a certain degree, which is fine. That won't be a big deal on the Lakers. But as a guard, he's averaging double-digit rebounds. That's because of his hustle. That's because he's running hard constantly to it. And basically, yeah, a lot of times he's even out hustling some of the big men on his own team. Russell Westbrook in transition is a beast. The Lakers are already a great transition team. Russell Westbrook will now push the pace even more. And imagine now you have LeBron trailing, which LeBron will run the floor. Now, when LeBron gets the ball off a rebound or somebody passes to him in the backcourt, he doesn't always push the ball, right? He picks his spots even with that pushing the ball. Russell Westbrook is an engine. He'll keep going. And so this will change the offense of the Lakers. Remember, one of the things about the Lakers offense that's still an issue is when LeBron goes off the floor. When they had Rajon Rondo in that championship year, remember, he was hurt a lot of the season. But by the time Rajon Rondo got healthy and played more consistently in the playoffs, you notice a difference when LeBron went out. When Rajon Rondo was leading the offense, it could stay afloat because he's a high IQ player who knows what he's doing. Now, Russell Westbrook's IQ is maybe not as great as Rondo's, but he's still an elite playmaker, right? He can definitely push the ball in transition, and he's really, really great at an open floor in transition. And he attacks the basket. That is his strength. On offense, in the half-court set, he can get to the basket. So now imagine, and this is where the key is, these guys have already talked. There's reports out there letting us know that these guys already had a conversation. They met at LeBron's house, so AD, Russell Westbrook, and LeBron. They all sat down to talk. How can they make this work? And one of the things that's been thrown out there, and this stuff has been reported behind the scenes, so I know this stuff has to be, there's some truth to this stuff. Basically, also, if you think about it, Magic Johnson also revealed the same information right after, not too long after the Lakers season was over, where he said he would like to see AD play more of the 5 and LeBron play more of the 4. Why is this important? Now, traditionally, AD doesn't like to play the 5 as much because he doesn't want to bang with those bigs. But let's be really honest. Yes, they have some really big players like a Gobert, but Gobert is not constantly attacking on offense, right? You got the Joker. The Joker, now that's a serious deal because the Joker will attack you a lot on offense. All right, in the West, those are the two main guns that are, there's other players obviously, but those are just two all-star caliber centers that are in the West, right? And then in the East, who do you have? Joel Embiid. As far as I'm just talking about really big centers who dominate. So Joel Embiid and Joker are the two big ones, and that's only you know what I mean? That's only like two teams that have juggernauts of centers who are really big and who try to kill on the offensive end, who can drop 25 to 30 a game. You know what I'm saying? Those are the only two centers doing that right now, right? That to that degree. So there are other big centers that are bigger than AD, yes, but AD at the 5 is a pure athletic mismatch because AD is more athletic than any of these centers that you're talking about. And so AD's handle, remember AD used to play point guard, and then he had a big growth spurt. So AD still has the kind of game as a guard, as a wing, right? So when the Lakers put AD at the 5, it unlocks the whole team because now the offense flows at a high level, right? And AD is still a great rim protector, right? He's a great defender. He's one of the best defenders on the team, right? And he alters shots, right? Now, with the team with Russell Westbrook, it's going to be to the Lakers' advantage to have AD play the 5 more, right? If he could play the 5 more, that's going to unlock this team because now if you move LeBron to the 4, that's going to just allow Russell Westbrook to flourish a lot more. And now what you would do is whoever you have playing your shooting guard and the small forward, now you want guys there that can shoot the ball, right? And that'll create your spacing because you have AD on one side, LeBron on the other side. The defense has to respect both of those guys wherever you have them set up. You know, whoever is going to be on the dunker spot, whoever is going to be on the opposite side, however you're going to do it, somebody has to guard those guys because those are all-star players, so they're not going to leave LeBron open or AD open, right? And so now you force the defense to make decisions or pick your poison. So when Russell Westbrook is coming up with the ball initiated offense, he can live all day just off a pick and roll because he can call the 1-5 pick and roll, he can call the 1-4 pick and roll. You know what I'm saying? He go to whatever side he wants, call LeBron for the pick and roll, call AD, either one. And that brings different elements because if you call LeBron to do the pick and roll, that element is going to be that LeBron is also a great facilitator. So if LeBron gets the ball from Russ in this scenario, he's dangerous with the ball because he can drive, or he's dangerous because he can play make with the ball as well. AD's athleticism, size, and quickness, if he's running vertical, he's going to beat a lot of fives that are on him. He's going to force the defense to maybe worry a little too much about him. And Westbrook is already a dynamic penetrator to the rim. And so the defense, you got to pick your poison, because if you let off a Russ, he's going to attack you, and that's his strength. That's his superpower, attacking that rim. And he puts a lot of pressure on the defense. So the Lakers are going to have the ability to open up the floor simply even off those pick and rolls. Now, they can do other things, but I'm just using one of the most common plays you see using NBA, the pick and roll, and that in of itself, it can open up so much dynamics. Now, the key to that, once again, is having LeBron at the 4 and having AD at the 5, because if the Lakers try to play traditionally how they've been the last few seasons, where they have AD at the 4 and a center at the 5, even if it's Marcus Gasol, even though he can shoot threes, he's nowhere near as athletic. He's slow, and he's a little hesitant sometimes to shoot it, even though he can shoot it. You know what I mean? You got to have somebody that the defense is going to be concerned about. AD can drop 30 at any time. The defense is concerned about that. LeBron can drop 30 at any time. The defense is concerned about that. So this is going to add an element now with such a dynamic playmaker like Russell Westbrook. It's going to open up the Lakers offense, because I'll be really honest, this past season there was a lot of stagnation in the Lakers offense, right? And you could tell LeBron is picking his spots, and I know his ankle wasn't fully right. You know what I'm saying? I know his ankle wasn't fully right, so that probably has something to do with it. But at the same time, as he's getting older, I'm noticing his game changing, and he's not driving to the rim as much. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of wear and tear that goes on. There's a lot of pounding, and so he's picking his spots when he's doing that. So once again, Russell Westbrook there now is just constantly attacking. This is going to be amazing. He's going to energize AD, because the reality was, if you look at this past season, Schroeder and AD did not have great chemistry. Now, I know AD got hurt and was out for a while, so that kind of messed it up. But even when you watched him before, Schroeder just didn't have great chemistry with AD. And Schroeder, to me, passing off of pick and rolls, he wasn't too great. And also feeding the post, he wasn't too great. He's not the greatest passer in those elements. You know what I'm saying? Those weren't his strengths. Because if you watch him just get an entry pass, it just seemed always like it wasn't too easy. I don't know if that's just because of his height and his size, going against bigger defenders. I don't know what it was, but the chemistry between him and AD wasn't too good. If you watch the previous season when LeBron was the main point guard, him and AD had great chemistry. LeBron would get AD going in the first. AD would definitely get a lot of passes and looks, because LeBron's goal when he was playing full-time point guard was to get AD in the rhythm, because he knew once he got AD in the rhythm, it's over. You know what I'm saying? Then, because at any time he could pick his spots and do what he has to do. So I know there's a lot of backlash and there's a lot of people hating on this move, but in my opinion, this is a great move for the Lakers, and it puts them up there as one of the teams to beat. Even though, like I said, they're already going to be one of the teams to beat, but this just puts them even up there that much more higher. I understand that Brooklyn has a big three. At the end of the day, what we're going to see is the Lakers still have a 5.9 mid-level exception that they can use on somebody. Maybe they'll use that on a shooting guard. Maybe they'll use that on a wing defender, a 3-and-D guy that can come in there. There's reports about possibly Rudy Gay and Carmelo Anthony being interested. We'll see if that comes into fruition. But they have that 5.9 mid-level exception. They're going to have a lot of veteran minimum contracts, and there's going to be a lot of veterans who are going to be ring chasers and that are going to jump on this Laker bandwagon. There's already reports that have been out about that as well. So next week is when this trade will get finalized. I wouldn't be surprised if certain elements of this trade changes, but for the most part, it's guaranteed. We know that Russell Westbrook will be a Los Angeles Laker. The Washington Wizards receive Kyle Kuzma, Montrezl Harrell, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, and the Lakers, they received the Lakers 2021 22nd draft pick. All right, the Wizards threw in a couple of second rounders, 2 second round picks to the Lakers as well in this exchange. But we'll see what happens next week when they finalize this trade. It's official, but when the league calendar flips, they'll finalize it. We'll see if there's any more moving parts. It's possible that stuff can be added. It's possible they can add a third team and other parts move, but we'll see if that happens or not. But once again, I think this is a great move for the Lakers. You know, they got a big three. It's going to be exciting. I mean, if you're an LA Laker fan, Staples Center is going to be exciting next season. You know, Russell Westbrook is going to give you a show, and you know, he's a hard worker, and I think the Laker fans are going to appreciate Russ for that. And I think because those guys have met up, I think they're going to all be willing to sacrifice, and they're going to do whatever it takes to make it work. LeBron wants to win another ring, and I think LeBron can smell if he has a guy at this caliber that they're adding to this team, that LeBron is ready chasing Jordan. I think he can smell that he can get to 5 and maybe 6, you know, having Russ a part of the package. So they're going to try everything to make it work, because everything is invested in this. So we'll see how it goes. Anyhow, let me know what you guys think about the Russell Westbrook trade. Do you agree with me that it's a great move for the Lakers, or do you think opposite? Do you think that, no, man, it's not going to work? They're not going to have the great chemistry? Let me know in the comments. Make sure you hit the subscribe, hit the like. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting. This is your boy, King Cal 516. I'm signing off, out on the road traveling, but we're still trying to give you guys the news. Shout out to everybody who's been supporting. If you feel so inclined, you can donate to the Cash App, $King Cal 516. With that said, signing off. Peace.